Aloha! You are listening to the Rolling Vets Podcast, a podcast by veterans, for veterans, and civilians alike. I am Lucas Monster, co-host, and I am flanked by my Marine veteran peer, Chris Ellis. We would like to extend an invitation to you, the listener, to journey inside of our realm to discover what it means to be a rolling vet.
And we are back.
Fuck yeah, we are. That actually felt really good to do. We've been on a little hiatus. A lot of things have happened. A lot of shaking, a lot of hooking and a jabbing, slashing and a stabbing going on over here. Chris, would you like to update our listeners on what you've done since our hiatus?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, gentlemen out there, but I'm taken now. So I tied the knot. I spent the last week getting married in Nashville, Tennessee, running the streets, drunk as fuck, going to every single bar and drinking all their fucking Jaeger they have. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're a taken man. Now you can't commit adultery or else you get kicked out and nothing will happen to your significant other. But yeah, man, we fucking took a little break. I finished up my semester at school and I hadn't had some time off in a while. So I was like, fuck it, we need to take a couple weeks off. Take some time off, collect myself. And then we're right back at it like crack addicts, So that being said, obviously we give a huge shout out to Vet Labs sponsor, for military grade supplements. Get your shit at Vet Labs. We have new merch coming soon. We get the shaker bottles, you have the wrist straps, you have the weight belt, you have anything that you need, even aside from the supplemental side, even stringer t-shirts. It's summer, show off the summer bod that you work so hard for.
Fucking sun's out, guns out. All right.
Sun's out, guns out. So a lot of shit there, a lot of exciting stuff. Link is going down in the bio again because I did do it last time, so I fucking remembered. All right, so that being said, another thing has changed, we've kind of changed our format like just a little bit on how we structured our episodes, which is going to directly lead into how we do this episode. Is now we have two separate versions or two different categories of episodes. Now we have our America's Finest segment, like playlist, and then we also have our Smoke Pit playlist. So to go into a little bit of the America's Finest playlist, that is when we actually do our interview series with, fucking our everyday veterans that we know and love, that we want to share their stories because their stories matter. Not everybody was kicking doors down or fucking wearing all the cool gear, the high-speed gear and shit like that. Some people were just doing the everyday jobs in the military that keep it functioning. And that is one of the most important things, I think, regarding that. So that being said, without further ado, we also have our Smoke Pit segment. And our Smoke Pit segment is where it's just usually Chris and I and Aaron, if Aaron ever decides to show up and not go UA, I'm writing his ass up. Like either that or I'm taking his ass to a fucking tree line and I'm getting some tree line justice out of his ass. So like, fucking, that's just going to be us bullshitting, talking about whatever, literally quote unquote smoking or drinking, just meeting up kind of like we used to do back in the days and shooting the shit. So that being said, the Smoke Pit is our topic for today. It is a staple in the United States Marine Corps, a place where all walks of life congregate. Think of it as like the Oasis, that one watering well in the middle of a fucking desert where you just get like all like from Lion King or whatever. You just get like Jungle Book, all those fucking, you get the lions, you get the fucking gazelles, you get the zebras, you get the elephants. All the motherfuckers are usually there at one time. Chris, the Smoke Pit. What was your first introduction to this, to like the concept of the Smoke Pit? I don't think you weren't like a smoker in general. Like you weren't like a huge tobacco user, right?
No, I vaped when I was in the Marine Corps. I had one of those massive ass douche flutes with the fucking dual fucking battery blowing sick fat fucking clouds,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I did fucking only smoke heavily when I was in the field. And my first introduction to the smoke pit was probably fucking comm school. That's when I started probably fucking vaping. Because in comm school, so we're in 29 Palms. If you don't know what that is, imagine the fucking desert. That's it. All right, just the desert. So 29 Palms, fun fact, was
Just the desert, just nothing else.
yeah. So 29 Palms is, just to give it some background on people who don't know what that is. It is a massive base out in the middle of California, over by Big Bear, right?
Yeah, it's not too far from Big Bear.
Yep,
It's
not
like
too
it's
far
right
from Big Bear.
outside, or I don't want to say right outside, but very close to Palm Springs.
Yep. Now, the size of 29 Palms is fucking massive. Every Marine Corps base can fit inside of 29 Palms twice. That's how huge it is.
The training area.
Yep, in the
Yeah.
training area.
Yeah.
Yep. So out at 29 Palms, there's nothing to fucking do. So you're going to class, and when you get these 15-minute breaks like every few hours to go outside and just sit around and fucking bullshit and fucking smoke and joke, smoke them if you got them.
Yep.
So that was actually, hold on, let me backtrack. I just had a memory pop in my head. All right. First introduction to a smoke pit. I was at Marine Corps combat training in New River, is it South Carolina? North Carolina.
New Rivers, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I was probably 3 weeks in, and the instructor say, "Hey, you can have a smoke break if you have smoke them if you got them." Dude, I was like, "Let's fucking go, dude." So I had a cigarette. My buddy threw me a dip. I had a fucking dip in, bro. I was smoking a fucking cigarette. I got so fucking buzzed up. I puked my fucking brains out. And I
Hell
wasn't the
yeah.
only fucking person, dude. There was probably like 30 fucking people puking their fucking brains out.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking tobaccoed all up. But yeah, and the smoke pit, like you already said, is like the all coming together. I mean, you have
Yeah.
everybody, and it's a matter of your
It's the
fucking
water
rank.
cooler.
Yeah, it's the fucking
Yeah.
water cooler. You have fucking first sergeants there. You have PFCs there. Everybody's bullshit. Everybody's talking. It's a place where you can actually relax and just fucking chill out. Fucking bullshit. I've
Yeah.
heard some of the best fucking stories there. I've met some fucking great fucking people there. And I got some great fucking stories that we'll get into later. What was your first introduction to the smoke pit?
My first introduction was one, it was kind of it made sense because I at that point I was unaware of the fact that on federal bases and stuff that you couldn't just fucking smoke anywhere. That you had to smoke in designated areas and it had to be like within a certain feet from like a door and all that shit. So like I wasn't really hip to all that until joining. So after getting in and then MOS school, like the smoke pit in MOS school, so in 29 Palms, it's like not what your traditional smoke pit would be when you get to the fleet. It's like the common area that's in between the barracks. So it's like literally like a long row of just like picnic tables and stuff that people just walk all up and down. You're allowed just to basically smoke in that area openly. So like, you know, that my experience there, so that would be my first experience with the smoke pit, because I never really used tobacco in the military, but I hung out at the fucking smoke pit all the time. Because in MCT we were out in the field a lot, so like there wasn't really a smoke pit. And then like there was a smoke pit in like when I was there in Camp Guard and then for like the time we were back in Garrison in MCT. But I was never, I was always usually in the squad bay, like fucking around with somebody or something like that. Like people would just go out and they would go smoke. The smokers would, and it wasn't like a thing yet to go hang out in the smoke pit, like per se, until you get to MOS school. And bro, that's when I saw the different walks of life involved in that like a Friday night smoke pit, right? Especially in MOS school, you're not allowed to basically go anywhere. You have to get a Liberty card, right? You remember the Liberty cards? Like you
God,
had,
fuck those Liberty cards,
yeah.
bro.
I was like, fucking, I can't even remember like the tiers, what the tiers were called, but like you had certain tiers of Liberty, and like that allowed you to do like that enabled you to do certain things like go out on base, like literally just to leave the barracks. You needed a libo card. Just to fucking just to wear civilian clothes, you needed to have one on you. And then to leave the base and wear civilian clothes, you needed to have like an additional Liberty card. It was like it was so fucking crazy.
And let me dive into that real quick because people are like, oh, like you had to wear a fucking have a Liberty card to fucking wear like civilian clothes and like to
Yeah,
walk out on base. So when he says the barracks, it's like four long barracks in a fucking box, and we're all fenced
yep,
in, but it's like you can like walk right out. There's like pathways, sidewalks everywhere. All right. They have people walking around, two people on every single deck. There's three decks. There's two people in every single laundry room. There's fucking six laundry rooms in each barracks. Then you have two people walking on each side of the building, all right, in the parking lot to get off out of the barracks. Then you have two people walking in the smoke pit. These people are in camis and they're wearing a fucking vest that lets you know that
camelback and
they're
shit.
yeah, camelback that they're on
Yeah,
fire watch, and they wear a belt, a duty belt. So there was a thing that happened because people were leaving without signing out. You had to sign out, and also this doesn't matter if you're fucking 35 years old. If you
yep.
want to go to the grocery store, you have
You have
to
to.
have somebody with you, and they have to sign a book. And the
Mhm,
time you left, and then get a card, then you come back and sign back in when you get back.
yeah,
So if somebody catches you, and these motherfuckers would do, they would haul
hunt,
your ass. They would
hunt,
hunt,
hunt.
dude. They would
Yeah.
hide and fucking come out and get your ass.
Mhm.
If they seen you step foot out of the barracks without your libo card, they could snatch your ass up, take you back to the duty hut, and then you could have to trade shifts with them.
Yeah. Dude, it was fucking like just that's just a testament to just like the constant hyper like tension that is going on there like at all times, like you're constantly walking on eggshells. So because it's so much of a fucking hassle to leave the bricks, aka barracks, nobody fucking does. You know, a lot of people just don't, and so a lot of people congregate to the smoke pit. So, and the, you know, smoke pit's always a place to go after you've been drinking all night too, you know, or just drinking in your room, go hang out with people in the fucking smoke pit, go see what's up. But like my first experience is like, you know, on like a Friday night or whatever, and just seeing, you know, people with the fucking little gloves that like light up, like their fingers light up, and they're just like, oh, and you have fucking people with lightsabers like chasing each other up and down the fucking smoke
You
pit,
got
and
the
just
full cowboys out there
yeah, wearing their fucking boots with the running jumpsuit that we had to wear because you couldn't wear civvies. You're not
in the
even not
cowboy
even like
hat.
yeah, and the cowboy hat and then fucking and then you have people that are actually like out there like cigarette smokers smoking and shit. And then yeah, and then that when I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like and then one of the fire watch's jobs was to walk all up and down that alleyway for the smoke pit. And make sure that people weren't being fucking hooligans and whatnot and degenerates, which was all the time. So that was kind of like my first experience. It was kind of like very overwhelming, I guess, just like a lot going on at one time. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is what happens when you lock a bunch of people up and you make it like extremely difficult for them to leave and go enjoy themselves. Um, and that so yeah, that was my first impression of the smoke pit, but it definitely changed. And it definitely took on a whole nother meaning for me when we hit the fleet. Uh, could you say that it did for you as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How did it change for you?
So I remember hitting the fleet, and as a junior Marine, if you're in the shop, you are constantly like I'm not talking like I'm talking like the first month. Your first month in the shop, you walk by a motherfucker with a higher rank than you fucking say something, all right?
Yeah,
You
proper
fucking
green
say
midday.
it does not matter. You fucking say something to him, all right? You're always at parade rest. You're always fucking yes, corporal, no corporal, yes, sergeant, I sergeant. Like you're always like doing cleaning shit, doing stupid shit. Smoke pit was a way to fucking escape that because you
Yeah.
could go out to the smoke pit and you pop your cover off and you set it down. And it doesn't matter if there's a corporal out there and you're a fucking lance corporal. Obviously, you still fucking act within like your fucking rank,
Hmm.
but you can relax and you can chill out and you can talk and you can get to know people. And I think that's where a lot of like camaraderie grows. I think that's where a lot of like higher ups as far as like corporals and sergeants. So when you're a fucking PFC in the Lance, they like start to get to know you more and they start to like you more
Mhm.
because when you first get to the fleet, they don't fucking like you. Nobody fucking likes you when
Yeah.
you first get to the fleet.
Yeah.
But slowly you get to know them, you fucking drink with them, you smoke with them, you break bread with them, you know, and
Mhm.
and life starts to relax a little bit. So the smoke to me for my first probably like I would say like four months or so in the Marine Corps was like a place to relax, a place to like fucking get away from the fucking bullshit in the shop and chill out and fucking smoke and joke, talk to the fucking boys.
Yeah. Yeah. That was what you described was my first impression of it in the fleet, and that's how it kind of changed. Was like all my seniors when I got to the fleet. So like, I was a radio operator. I get picked up at the airport, and the first thing I'm asked at the airport is like, not where you're from, like who are you? It's like who wants to go to a line company? So who wants to go to an infantry company? And I fucking volunteered like right away because that's exactly what I wanted to do. Um, and and so my corporals at the time, my senior who I was attached, so they had two radio operators per infantry company, per line company, and so my senior, he was in corporal's course at the time, so I had to stay in like headquarters company for like I think like a week or two, like 2 weeks, until he was done with corporal's course before I could just immediately make the switch to India company. Um, and so I'm spending time in H&S, and I'm seeing like all the bullshit. Yeah, I'm going through the bullshit, like the Connex, like taking out everything out the Connex fuck games, taking out everything out the Connex boxes, and then realizing, oh, this is the wrong fucking one. Or you're like looking for like one piece of SL3, and you're like, oh, some dumbass corporal's like, oh, I'm pretty sure I put it in this one like 100 years ago. And then you dig through the entire fucking thing and you realize it's not there. And then like you said, like anytime someone of a higher rank, which everyone's a higher rank than you because you just got to the fleet, you have to stand up at parade rest and give the proper green a day, like totally stopping what you're doing. You're getting bitched at about not knowing SL3, and you just fucking got there. And then like the same people who are kind of like dishing this shit out, like every hour on top of the hour for the first 10 minutes was the rule, was a smoke break. They were running outside. And that was where I get like little 10 minutes apiece, where I was like, fuck, man, fuck these guys. like I'm tired of being here already. Like they're out there and but that's how they were getting their release, was like, going out there and being able to smoke 10 minutes, and I even questioned one of them one time. I was like, it's really every hour for like 10 minutes. And they're like, yeah, that's the Marine Corps policies. Like we're allowed to leave at once every hour for like on top of the hour for the first 10 minutes. I'm not sure if it's actual Marine Corps policy, but that's just what it was described to me. You can fucking fact check me on that. I don't know. Put it in the comments.
Hey
Somebody
Jamie,
will. Somebody will. I guarantee you. Somebody on Facebook will be like, "Oh, fucking
uh,
actually, according to
Marine
Papa
Corps
1020
order.
34 fucking Zulu, it's fucking, it's like, okay, bitch, like, then do it. Then fucking tell me because I'm actually interested." Um, but yeah, so I was like, okay, so it's like a release. It's like a fucking release. And then you get the other side of it when you're not at the you're not at the shop, right? You're not at work. Where you're at the bricks, and then it just turns into like like a modern day reality TV show. I guess
Dude, it does.
like
That's the perfect
it's
way to fucking describe it.
because it's like some nights it's a soap opera. Other nights it's like it's tragedy. Some nights it's a fucking party. It's one of the best parties you ever fucking have. Is like everyone gathering in the smoke pits and on the balconies and shit. Some nights it's an absolute fucking shit show. Like cops, like PMO showing up, and then you have a lot of going aways. People, a lot of going aways. They're like, oh, my going aways I just want to have it in the smoke pit. Like easy. So,
You know?
you have your fucking homeboys who've been, fucking stacking up their fridge full of steaks, marinating them all day. You're the homeboy hitting the little fucking mini PX, get all the cheap beer they can grab. And somebody's grabbing paper plates. Everyone meets in the smoke pit, and everyone starts grilling and fucking, shooting the
Passing around a
shit.
bottle.
Yeah, pass around bottles. People got fucking, there's like there's like 4 speakers out there because in case one dies, we got another speaker like right on deck. Fucking, it's a. I mean that was my other impression of
and
like the
and
smoke pit.
going to that too, it's like that's one thing that my first experience of like tons of different cultures coming together. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you had like my best friend in the Marine Corps was Hispanic, and I never
Yeah,
really hung out with Hispanic people before the Marine Corps. I had a few friends, but they were like more American guys. But
yeah,
like it was cool, like experiencing different like different cultures and different like different music too.
yeah.
Because like there was always like the Mexican music. There was always like rap. There's always country. There's always like even
Nobody
some old school
complained.
Tupac. Dude,
Nobody
nobody
complained.
complained. Nobody
Nobody
did.
complained. Nobody ever complained. Like whoever speaker was, they played whatever the fuck they wanted to play. I
And
never
everybody
heard anyone
vibed.
complain. I never heard anyone complain.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, everyone was there. They listened to whoever's fucking music they were playing. Like, dude, it's so weird, bro. It's so weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like getting out and like, not to tie this into like anything like social or whatever, but like, experiencing like people like being experiencing like the race problems and race tensions and stuff like we have in like the United States and like how I'm not gonna lie, totally oblivious I was to because I was in that bubble, dude. I was just in that
Yeah.
bubble. Like everyone was green. Everyone was shades of green,
And
dude.
and I think it's because I think it's because we didn't look for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look for it, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
But none of us looked for it. We all looked around and we seen fucking my fucking bro. Like that's my dude. It
Yep.
doesn't matter what you fucking look like. That's my fucking dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'd fucking do anything for you. You want me to go? Want me to go
Yeah.
buy you a bottle right now, bro? You ain't got the money? I got you, dude. I
Yeah.
got you. You come. I got burgers on the grill. Come on. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I got beers in the fridge. Like,
Yeah. Just now thinking
didn't
about it,
matter.
actually, when I got sent to when we got orders to go to fucking 3-3, uh I'm mixed. One of the other people who went black, white, Hispanic, like 100% Mexican. Like it's fucking it's just literally all versions of the rainbow. And it was like that's when it immediately started, I think, was like we got orders and we all realized like, hey, we're all going to the same place together. Like we all need to stick together. Like and just
Yeah.
start and just bond together. And like you just become totally oblivious to like everything like culture, creed, whatever. Like they could have prayed 5 times a day, they could have fucking done whatever, I wouldn't have given a fuck. um and still wouldn't have given a fuck. But like to experience that in the smoke pit, I think like, and this is speaking about like the good times in the smoke pit, like the calm times in the smoke pit, like a going away party that's going well or whatever. And this is another point. This is also this was also another opportunity, or the first opportunity I think I had to meet my superiors outside of like that kind of like work environment. They always showed up. I was so fucking lucky in India company, in my experience in the Marine Corps. For the most part, I'd say for 98% of it, I had phenomenal leadership, just great leadership. And I that we had the remnants of like the fucking Iraq and the Afghanistan guys, like the guys fucking the Ramadi, the Fallujah guys, like they were our staff NCOs, our fucking, our XOs and fucking and COs. And so like that trickled down. Like that was like really felt, I think, from our NCOs and then down to like the lowest level. So I'm like very fortunate to like had those people like show me what it's like to have like good leadership, whatever. And part of that was like showing up on days off, like, and just checking up on your boy, like just checking up on your guys. And like they would show up in the smoke pit, and fucking, wearing their little fucking stupid ass polo because that's what the Marine Corps regs made you want to wear, your fucking polo and their
With
flip
a
flops and
You gotta
shit.
have
And
a
they're
fucking
just
belt on.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And they shoot the shit and they'll just fucking shoot the shit with you for like, 10 minutes and then, bounce and then,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But like, you wouldn't have got that if you just stayed in your fucking room or whatever. Like you had to be out there like talking to duty or whatever, or shooting the
Ah,
shit in the smoke pit.
and you always gotta hook duty up. All right.
Oh
If you're
yeah.
still in, you walk by duty, you gotta give him a monster, man. Give him something. Like hook
Yeah.
duty up. I always
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, yeah. Give them the zero sugar monster. Don't kill them.
Yeah,
You know. So
yeah,
like
the
that shit
white
still got
ones.
caffeine and whatnot. You know. So,
Mm.
but yeah, what are some of the wild moments that you've had in the smoke pit?
So I'll start this off with I think everybody should know by now that we were both calm. I was data, so I did a lot of network stuff, switches, routers, servers. Moss, he was a fucking radar operator, so he was fucking, kicking rocks and fucking sleeping in the field. Nah, but I wanted to be a radar operator. When I joined the Marine Corps, at first my dad was in the Navy, so I was like, hey, I kind of want to go be a corpsman. That was my first instinct, was to be a corpsman. But I was like, I've always wanted to be a Marine. I always thought the Marines were fucking badass. I seen the commercial of them next to the Golden Gate Bridge, fucking flipping their fucking rifles and their blues and catching it, and I was like, done. All right. Um, so I
So that was the
remember
ad. That was the ad that got you, huh?
that was the ad. That was
That
the
was
I still
that one.
remember it.
Yeah,
I was young, dude. I remember I was probably like 12 years old or younger, but I still remember that commercial. Old school one.
yeah. That's a good one
But
though.
it is.
I'm
And
always very interested in like which one's the one that like if there's any if somebody like
yeah.
watched that and they're like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, dude, it
Like,
was the uniforms, bro. I was like,
yeah,
that's hard.
yeah. The
And
uniform, yeah, for
yeah, I knew I was
sure.
gonna go in the military. I knew I was gonna go in the military regardless. I knew because my dad was. So it was for me. It has always been between since I knew all the branches, the Marine Corps, the Navy. I want to go to Navy because I want to like take after my dad, but I'm a Marine now, so I'm fucking
Yeah.
better. But um, I I so it's back to the smoke pit story. Well, no, back to the MOS real quick. So I joined to be a radar operator. That was like when I went an 06XX. I thought he told me, hey, you'll be a radar operator. I was like, all right, sweet, whatever. My dumbass. I scored high on my ASVAB, so they threw me into data. I didn't have a choice. I was told. So I remember I got to MCT and I was like, dude, MCT is a month long and it's Marine combat training. Pretty much you go through like just the basics of being a rifleman. And part of the like the end of it, like one of the like culminating events is like a squad goes out and does a patrol through the woods. One person's radar operator, they call in like a 9 all this shit. I was that dude. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be a radar operator anyways. I need to learn this shit now. So I was like all fucking pumped, bro. Like, I'm like boot. So I'm like motivated as fuck. Like, fuck yeah. Like I'm gonna be radar. This will be badass. I got to or no, they told me about MOS finally. And I remember him saying 0671. And I went, what is that? He went, I don't know. Get out of my office. I was like, I Sergeant. I walked out. I called I Googled it on my phone and it was data or data network operator. And
Right, shipwreck.
I was like, what the fuck? I call my recruiter, bro. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why am I not a radar operator? He's like, it's a good job. You're gonna get a good job. Don't worry. You're set when you get out. I'm like, I don't fucking care. And I hung up on him, I think. I was pissed. And um I was kind of upset. Like low key, like through comm school, I was kind of mad. Like in the back of my mind, but I was making the best out of it. Got to the fleet. I seen what you guys doing, fucking going out with line companies. I was fucking mad. And I'm just sitting here fucking configuring switches and routers and shit, dude. We did Bougainville 1. It was probably like it was my third month there, maybe. I was pretty fresh still.
Bougainville
Um,
one.
yep.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Bougainville one was like because you showed up a month after me.
yep.
Yeah, so that's about right. It was about 2 months after I got there.
Yep. So I remember doing Bougainville 1 and my very first field op ever in the fleet. And I set up our tent. We put barbed wire around it. It was a pain in the ass. Setting everything up. It's hot as fuck out in Hawaii. We're in the middle of this fucking field. I was pissed. I'm like, and no shit. Like I'm probably a 7 minute walk from my room, but I can't go there. I have to sleep in this fucking tent because I'm doing a fucking field op. And I'm all like pissed, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So like the next morning, I wake up and I go back in the tent. I'm there all fucking day, like just getting fucking. I'm being somebody's bitch, just getting told what to do all day long. Hate my fucking life and going out in the smoke pit with fucking my boys.
Yeah,
To get that little escape throughout the day. And in the field, you can be in a smoke pit all you want as long as you got
yeah,
shit to do. So I
yeah.
was in the smoke pit for like 5 hours a day, 5 to 6 hours a day, just in the smoke pit. I remember one time I walked out, bro, and I think it was Durgan, and he was with a line, or he was with like a line, or somebody with a line company. I thought it was Durgan though, and they were
He was
doing,
with Cat.
yeah, it might have been them because they had like the trucks out too.
Yeah.
Um, these motherfuckers were doing uh fucking leaping about he sees
Buddy
me, I'm up,
rushes.
I'm down. Yeah, buddy rushes. That's what it's
Yeah.
fucking called. You're doing buddy rushes, bro, in the middle of this field that's like rocks sticking out. Like it's like you're and when you do this
Been there,
buddy
dude.
rushing, you're running full sprint.
Yeah.
Like full fucking sprint, like you're diving on the ground, like getting up and fucking in your prone and
Yeah.
getting your fucking rifle up. You have to make it look real, you know. Um, and I'm out there just smoking a cigarette, watching these motherfuckers run. And I was like, thank God I'm fucking data, bro. And after that, bro, it was like weight off my shoulders. Like, I get to sit here and you can smoke a fucking cigarette while these dumbasses are fucking running
Yeah,
around.
I tell you what, buddy rushes do fucking suck, dude. Especially in Hawaii. Hawaii is the worst place, I would argue, for buddy rushes, because like it's lava rock, man. A lot of it's fucking lava rock out there, and you're fucking doing I'm up, he sees me, I'm dead, kind of shit. You're fucking running around doing your fucking dickheaded stuff, but yeah, man. Like I don't remember if we had a few like for the line companies if we had a smoke pit in the field like when we were out there. I think you could just fucking smoke whenever or wherever. I think well obviously not like in the COC or whatever, but like I'm pretty sure you could just fucking smoke.
Like in your tent city, you didn't have like
I can't
a smoke
remember.
pit.
I can't remember to be honest. Because I wouldn't really spend a lot of time and because that's when people were actually smoking, in the smoke pits, fucking in the field. Like if we had a smoke pit, then that's where the actual smokers were. Like
Yeah.
where the party was always happening. That was a COC, baby. That was fucking I was getting all the tea, dude. Like fucking I was the radio operator. I would sit there. And even when I wasn't on watch, I would usually just chill nearby and just fucking shoot the shit with the higher ups, just fucking, just have a good
You would
time, dude.
always be at the COC because my tent was right next to the fucking COC. I was
Yeah,
always seeing your ass coming in there and fucking chilling out,
yeah,
talking to the fucking junior marines
yeah,
around fucking watching
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Well, that's the fucking you're talking about like battalion COC.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like
Oh,
our company
okay.
CP or COCs. We would still call it COP, but COC, but our company CP. But yeah, I would all the time. Don't even get me
All
fucking
the time.
started, dude, because I would go there because I always hated like my name floating around. Not it was never really my name personally. It was always like India Company, like, oh, India Company didn't do this for com. And I'm just like, okay, motherfucker. Like, I am not gonna sit idly by and have India Company's name and com in the same fucking sentence be dragged through the mud, um, without context. So I would always check in to like the battalion COC. So that's why I'd always be there, to make sure their shit was squared away because I knew my shit was squared away. And I have plenty of fucking stories about that. Like, don't even like fucking fuck. I'm gonna go into one right now. Then we can get back to the topic. But especially like crazy smoke pit stories. But yeah, there was one time I had to fucking Simmons, I'll give him a shout out, my boot. This motherfucker, we had 2 bags for 150, right? For a fucking radio, the 150 for HF. And there's a specific fucking antenna that you need, right? So we needed that antenna. One of them got broken like earlier, and this is ITX, so like we're not getting a replacement anytime soon. So I fucking, took them both out, and I think I put the broken one somewhere else, but one bag had the fucking good antenna and the other bag was basically empty. And I told Simmons, I was like, grab this bag when we pack. We're leaving, we're rolling out, we're DFL like fucking like 09, whatever. Like fucking grab your shit. Like he grabs the wrong pack. Yeah. And I think he told me this was the only time he ever felt like really bad because I chewed his ass out. I think this is the only time I actually really, really chewed his ass out like bad. But I only really that was the only time I really had to. He was pretty fucking squared away. I had a pretty good boot. But so we figured this out as we're setting up comm, and I think we're at like the farthest fucking range on ITX. Like we're at one of the farthest ranges, like far as fuck. And that's when we discover we don't have the antenna. And I apparently the battalion commander had told my company commander that they were really making an emphasis on HF. Like for some reason, for this specific push out, they really wanted to do HF stuff. So now we're all the way out there. We can't do HF, like not able to accomplish the mission. And so my XO was like, we got to go back. We have to go back and get the right thing. And I was like, fine, okay, all right. And I think we also needed like a disc to put on the GTAC or something like that to load. So we were missing like two things because I think it had two things because that's why I had to go to battalion COC because I didn't need to go there for an antenna, but I had to go there to get the fucking disc. And we're taking no, actually I don't think I had to go there at all. This is why I went there though. So we're driving the truck back. It's me. I'm like the A driver, and then I have a just a normal grunt fucking driver. Shout out fucking DeMello, homie, all reliable that guy. Fucking he. So we're driving back. It's dark as fuck, middle of the desert, and we finally come up on like fucking Camp Wilson, right? And I shit you not, probably 200 meters from the gate, the Humvee breaks down. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we're on the radio, and I'm like, trying to get a hold of him, trying to get a hold of him. I can't get a hold of battalion. And I was like, this is impossible. I'm using a VERC. I'm using a vehicle mounted radio right now. I should be able to reach battalion COC. Like, I should be able to reach Mars right now. Like, and I know I was checking my programming. I was like, the net ID, all this shit. I was like, this shit is fucking good to go. Like all my crypto's good. Like, man. And so I was so pissed because I was like, those motherfuckers are fucked up. And so I got out of the fucking Vic, marched my ass down all the way battalion COC, barged in. These motherfuckers posted up, feet up on the table. Fucking all the radios were dead. They didn't change the batteries. And I was sitting out there for like 45 minutes trying to get a hold of these and trying to figure out if I was the one that was fucked up in a dead Vic, trying to set up, and it's late as fuck already. And now I know I have to get the shit for HF, drive all the way fucking back, set up H. I ain't sleeping. I'm not sleeping tonight now, so I'm pissed. And, I fucking light them up, dude. Absolutely. Like I just lose it. I just snap. I just fucking snap. This is one of the few times I actually like publicly like actually just annihilate somebody. And I annihilated these two people. And fucking one of the staff sergeant Brian like looks over, and dude, they're having a fucking meeting, a battalion like fucking sync meeting.
Battalion meeting, yeah.
And he looks over at me and was like, bro, he's like, Ma, shut the fuck up. I was like, you shut the fuck up. I was like, you shut the fuck up. I was like, they're fucked up right now. And like, I'm sitting out there with a broken fucking Vic, less than 200 fucking meters from the gate, and I can't get a hold of anybody in battalion to come help me out. And I got to go back and fucking set up HF so I can communicate to you motherfuckers. And fucking the fucking battalion commander, OG dog, Reed was a fucking savage, man. And then he told fucking Brian basically to sit the fuck down and that he was gonna work it out. He was like, yo, we'll get that settled. And I was like, let's go. Like, fucking empower your NCOs. Empower your fucking NCOs. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I showed up to battalion COC like all the time, because of just shit like that, man. It'd be stupid shit like that. Something that's just totally avoidable is just paying attention and just changing the batteries. Like, I don't give a fuck if I post up with my feet up too. Like, if you're that confident as a radio operator that you could just post up, as long as you have the handset close by and you can still hear shit and do your fucking job, like, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, man, I was having full ass conversations and still able to do my fucking job, but just it's just that kind of shit, so that's why I would fucking show up all the time. Yeah, smoke pits. Yeah.
Dude, so when we were talking prior to starting this episode, I remember you sent, hey, we're gonna talk about the smoke pit and the importance of it. And I was like, the first thing that came to mind was this story. And it's probably one of my favorite experiences in the Marine Corps because it was like a genuine experience. So we were over uh in Korea outside of Pohang
Nice.
in like the middle of this like it's like we're sleeping on a tank range. That's what we were sleeping on. We're sleeping on a fucking tank range. And it was fucking miserable. I mean, we like our tents were constantly getting flooded in. It would be like hot as shit. I know your shit was our shit was fun too. We had big trenches too, all right. But I remember that shit fucking sucked and it was like hot as shit during the day. We were doing like us doing comm, we were doing stupid fucking patrols. Like fucking
When was it hot? I remember it just being
oh
windy
dude.
as fuck, cold,
Dude, it was
cold,
hot
and
as
and
shit, dude.
and we had to wear we like they made a big deal about taking our beanies off at 08
Motherfuckers.
every morning, dude. See, that's another thing. That's another. Think about that. Can we digest that for a moment?
The beanies.
Like we as grown men in a cold environment, literally like Indian Company was the first one to show up to Korea. It snowed. It snowed like the second or third night we were there. Like it was cold. It was fucking cold in Korea. And it was constantly that cold that was just above freezing where like it was so cold and windy and then like the rain was coming, but the rain wasn't freezing. It was just like it wasn't like it was like sleet sometimes, but it wasn't going to fucking like snow. Um and it was fucking it was so miserable like so
See, for me, it
miserable.
was like you wake up in the morning, you bang ice off your tent,
Yeah.
you fucking get up, you stretch, you fucking do your fucking whatever, go to the smoke pit, and then you come back, and then about like noon, 1 o'clock, like you're fucking taking off your fucking sweatshirt underneath your fucking
Okay, I think
camis
I
because it's
do
hot as
remember.
fuck. Oh yeah, and then like towards the evening, it fucking rains on your ass, and the rain's fucking cold. You're fucking
Yeah,
miserable. That's fucking Korea.
you had all four
Um,
seasons.
yeah, one fucking day, like living in
We
Ohio
stayed at
again.
the Four Seasons Korea.
But I remember the smoke pit for us because I was data, so my job was just to maintain the network of where we were at. So we got the network set up. I mean, my job is pretty simple. You get in the field, you set the network up, you maintain the network, you make sure everybody's fucking happy. That's all you gotta fucking do. Then you take turns watching the fucking network. So when you're not on your fucking shift, which is usually 8 hours, and I think I was a corporal at the time. No, I wasn't. Yeah, I was still a Lance, but I was like I had some Marines under me. I remember I wasn't on watch bad hours because if you're like lower rank, you're getting like the 2 to 10, and to set in the fucking tent from fucking 2 to 10 just fucking sucks dick. I wasn't doing that. I think I had like the night shift. Um, I remember I'd always go to the fucking smoke pit, and the Republic of Korea Marines were out there, and
Down
they
out
didn't
Rock
know
Marines.
the Rock Marines, bro. They were good people. Some of them fucked up. I watched a few of them fuck up. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
But
they sucked. They
oh
fucking
yeah,
sucked,
some of
dude.
them were like, well, I mean, you can't waste. Marines are retarded too, but I guess, all Marines across all walks of life are retarded.
I
I
don't
think this is something
know.
we all have in
The
common.
fucking so the Royal Marines and the
Oh, the
ADF,
Roman Marines are cool as fuck.
The Australian Defense Force, between those are probably the top two militaries that we trained with that I would be like, okay, like these dudes legit. All
Yeah,
all the other ones, dude, wipe the map.
fucking
Absolutely wipe the
trash.
map with them. Like it wouldn't even be fair. It would not
Royal
even be
Marines were
fair.
fucking. They were fucking cool. They were fucking cool. I
Yeah.
got a few on Facebook still. Some of my buddies are cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Um, But so these Koreans, they have to serve their country too. They have a mandatory like 2 years.
It's 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, they have a mandatory 2 years. But the Marines for the Rock Marine for the Republic of Korea is volunteer still. So they have to choose to go to the Marine Corps.
Mhm.
They could do their 2 years, but they have to choose the Marine Corps. So that was another thing that was kind of like more prideful on their end. But they didn't know a lot of words. They knew like hi, like hello. Some of them knew more than the others,
Yeah.
but one word they all fucking knew was trade. Trade. And dude, I remember getting there and like that's something that was really cool for me. I know for me personally was
Yeah.
trading stuff with other militaries. I loved trading
Yeah.
things with other militaries. I purposely packed 8 sweatshirts with me before I went to Korea. So I knew I was gonna trade shit with these motherfuckers. I
Hmm.
had buddies that had already been all around the world, so they'd bring extra shit. The other militaries love to trade. Like
Yeah.
fuck yeah. So I got like everything. I got fucking boonies, I got hats, I got fucking shirts, I have tags, I have everything. And I had this one dude who like I always like would pick out, and like after being there for a while, and we'd always like start like first we started trading like rank, and then it was like
Hmm.
name tapes. So we got bit, we got like the blouse, and then we did like cool other shit. Uh, and
And we did family members.
yeah, family members, yeah. um, but I remember I'd always like offer him a cigarette
Wait,
because
does hand
we
jobs come before family members or family or
oh,
how does
then we
that work?
start. That was like the fourth thing we did,
The
bro.
fourth
Like, come
thing.
on, bro.
Okay.
We've been
Okay.
there for like a month
Okay.
already.
Just making sure.
uh, uh, but I'd always we always they're trading in the smoke pit because the Rock Marines smoke too,
Yeah.
and
Like
I'll never
chimneys.
forget. Yeah, like fucking chimneys, bro. They don't give a fuck either. But their Korean cigarettes were like half the size of our cigarettes,
Yeah.
and they have little bead. You can when you smoke it, it tastes like candy, like you're smoking Skittles, and they have different flavors. You can fucking smoke. And I was like, I always loved his cigarettes. And he always liked my cigarettes because they were fucking give. I always smoked the fucking cowboy killers, so he always loved getting the fucking Nick buzz off my shit because his you wouldn't get away Nick buzz off of.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, dude, I came to smoke pit and he handed me a full pack unopened of his Korean cigarettes, and he said friend, and he handed it to me. And dude, like I know it sounds kind of dumb, but like my heart dropped, bro. I was like, wow,
Wow.
this dude
Yeah.
went out of his way when he was back home, like on fucking Libo, and went and bought a pack of cigarettes and remembered me to go bring it to me. And he didn't just catch me out of everybody. I walked to the smoke pit and like three people were like, hey dude, that one Korean dude, like some Korean dude's looking for you. He knew your name. He was like Ellis. I think it was like Tejas told me like, hey, like Korean's looking for you. And then he found me and he like pulled out his breast pocket, bro, and handed it to me. He was like friend. And dude, I was like, I don't know, I gave him my rank, I think I gave him like the rest of my fucking cigarettes I had, bro. I was like, dude, come on, bro. Like,
Fuck
cool
yeah.
as shit, dude. Cool as shit. Fucking
Yeah.
great people.
Yeah.
That was a really cool moment for me for like to even have that language bearers still like had that common
Yeah.
respect for each other.
That's why you do it, right? That's why you wear the uniform.
That's why I fucking serve.
Yeah. Like that's why. I think that's one of the I think that same smoke pit over by like near the motor pool, like at the edge of motor pool.
Yep.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, so fucking I had like a fucking badass knife. It was so sick. Like it was pretty gnarly. And I traded that for like their special forces fucking like pin or whatever. I guess what would be equivalent to like their fucking Navy SEAL like pin or whatever. One of their guys was out there and he loved the knife and I was like, I love it too, man. But what's it worth? What's it worth? And so he gave me like his pen and I was like super dope. And traded that just because I was like just shooting the shit over there at the smoke pit. I think one of my homies was just fucking blowing it down. So I was over there. Um one of the craziest smoke pit stories. There's two of them. Um, the first one being we were in the 7,000 series barracks in fucking in Hawaii in K Bay. And so the smoke pit was literally like smack dab in the courtyard. It was like set up just literally like a box like this where all the dorms were on the edge on the sides, right? And then there's a little courtyard, and then smack dab in the courtyard was basically a smoke pit. So you could just
Yep.
like
And all the
look
doors
down.
are facing in.
Yeah, all doors are facing in, like real like jailhouse like block shit, jail block shit. Um so yeah, so people hang out on the catwalks all the time. Now, I will preface this story by saying that I was actually not presently there. This is like basically word of mouth that I know it's 100% true. I know for a fact it is 100% valid, and I will not name drop. But um, and I wish Aaron was actually fucking here so he could validate some of the shit and maybe correct some of the things that I might say. But I'm just gonna be pretty forward. Like this may not be 100% the facts, but this is what happened to my understanding.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah, well, this is what happened to my understanding. So we come back first deployment, um, and like that entire workup, that entire deployment, like India company was the fucking rock stars, dude. We barely had, I think we had maybe the only like actual like disciplinary incidences that we had a couple NCOs that stayed out past curfew, I think when we were in the Philippines, and like that was like it. Like other than that, we had no incidences whatsoever. We crushed all the fucking tests that we did prior to deploying. Like when you have like the coyotes or what they call them, like they fucking watch you or whatever. Um, like we were constantly op 4, so we were constantly the opposing force for the battalion, and we fucked them up one company against the entire battalion. We would literally just fucking we'd mop them, absolutely mop them. So we get back, we're like, fuck, man, they should come out with just a special piece of the Marine Corps uniform just for India Company, like that's how we're riding high, right? And we get back and it it's all ended with a thud, right? And the thud is somebody falling from second deck, I believe, into the smoke pit, and like landing on their hip. And then you have a bunch of other Marines running out after this Marine, and one of them grabs this Marine. The Marine who's on the ground is clearly in pain, And so I am not 100% sure if our duty was right there, because usually like looking right into the smoke pit is the duty desk.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely positive if like our duty was there. I know that there was a duty from another unit that was there, and he came in and saw him basically buddy dragging this dude in pain, like try to get him, I guess, back upstairs into the room. And like the other guys were just acting strangely. And he was like, what the fuck is going on? And this is where things may, get, you know, ambiguous on what the meaning or what actually was said. But from what I understand, what was said was a very direct statement that was, don't worry about it. We're just tripping on acid. We'll be okay. And the dude was like, what the fuck? So he sees that this guy's obviously in pain, calls fucking PMO. PMO comes, yokes all them motherfuckers up, calls the Ambo's there, fucking EMS, fucking just get the guy, fucking put him in the stretcher to get his hip checked out. And all the other dudes are fucking, sitting on the side of the smoke pit in handcuffs, facing drug charges. Yeah, so
Damn.
yeah. Yeah, coming back from the first deployment, that was like immediately when we got back. It was so crazy.
And that fucking like, even if it doesn't happen to you, it still happened in like your company. So like you're still directly affected by that bullshit.
Yeah.
So like there's unnecessary punishment. Like that's one thing I hate about the Marine Corps was
Mass
group
punishment.
punishment, mass punishment, group
Yeah.
punishment, bro. I hated it so much. So like what the fuck does it solve? Like
Uh,
like I remember like some guys like fucking falling out of runs and falling out of hikes and shit. And it's like, oh, tight. He wants to fall out. You're all gonna fucking run 5 miles today after work. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't. Like
yeah. But I mean, I think when when you say it like that, I think about that story. You remember when fucking Dakota Meyer came and like talked to the battalion?
Yeah. About
Um,
how he like made that one Marine quit.
yeah. Or he
Yeah.
tried to. He tried to.
Yeah.
And like, and he realized that he's like, this dude's a shitty Marine, like blah 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 blah. And he goes and he speaks to that mentor, and that mentor tells him, he's like, okay, just a little bit of context. So this fucking he's in a sniper platoon. Um, this guy gets into the sniper. He passes the indoc. They let him into the sniper platoon. Apparently, according to Dakota Meyer, this dude's like a real shitbag, and he's falling out in all the runs. He's not doing really well at all. So he's basically just trying to get this dude to fucking quit, and the guy won't quit. He like won't drop. Um, and so like Dakota Meyer just gets so frustrated, he goes to a superior and like asks like, how the fuck do I get this dude to quit? Basically, he's a shitbag, and a superior basically shows the mirror at him, and he's like that like it's your job to make sure that he's ready. Like it's your job to make sure
Yeah.
um that he's able to perform his duties and tasks within the platoon, within the capacity of his MOS, and then some probably. So like that's where I can see like their mentality of being like, everyone should be looking, they should be policing each other, they should be, but like we're like, let's be real, like what I said earlier, like that constant walking on eggshells. Like I don't want to fucking deal with that every day.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have
Yeah.
to deal with that. I don't have to be my brother's keeper all the time, dude. Like literally like a fucking puppy dog. Like I'm on like suicide watch or something. Like I'm like having to watch this people who I think are gonna just fuck up Libo for everybody else, like babysit them essentially. Like it's just not fun, dude. Like
And
and that way you're getting punished. You're getting punished.
yeah,
Either way, you're
yeah.
getting punished.
And that sucks too because like I'm not gonna fucking throw a name out there. But we had a fucking Marine I served with who was in a different section, and I remember talking to Marines that like in his section, and dude, they hated him because it doesn't matter what you do. Some people are just like fucking idiots, like fucking
Yeah,
idiots.
yeah. You can't fix
Like,
stupid, I
yeah,
guess.
you can't
Yeah,
you can't spend your entire fucking Marine Corps career like watching somebody at work, making sure they don't fuck up. And then once you get off work, it's like you don't know what the fuck they're doing.
hmm
But if they fuck up out on town doing something fucking stupid, then
it's worse.
you are fucked. You are fucked from that.
It's worse because they're a fuck up at work and they fuck up in Libo.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
that's what we
dude.
call a buddy fucker in the Marine Corps.
Dude.
Now, but then
Terrorist.
yeah, yeah. But there are Marines that I feel like just need like the proper guidance from a correct like I'd say mentor in general.
Yeah.
I was very blessed. I would say to when I first joined the got to the fleet, my staff NCO is fucking Staff Sergeant Bame. Staff Sergeant Bame was probably the one of the
Solid.
best leaders I had
hmm
in my Marine Corps career. I still talk to him today. He is a standout individual. He's a great guy. He would do anything. I could call him right now and he would do anything
Yeah.
I need. Like
He
he's
knows
just like
Korean, doesn't he? He was fluent in Korean.
yeah, he lived in Korea for a few years. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. His wife's Korean. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I think when
Yeah.
we got there, he was like the only dude in the battalion that knew Korean.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I was very blessed, but it's like the military isn't what I thought it was gonna be. I would say for a fact. I thought it was gonna be like just a bunch of hardcore charge motherfuckers. Like, dude, it wasn't. Dude, there's people that fucking are just flat out fucking nerds, like can't run a fucking 10-minute mile and are somehow still in. And then there's people who are fucking like alpha, like fucking roll ruck with 35-pound packs on their back, like 7-minute miles, and then go smoke a pack of cigarettes and then go bench like fucking 225. Like
Yeah,
there's some
yeah.
dogs in the Marine Corps. It's like the NFL, I would say. I'd say
hmm
it's like the NFL. You got your kickers and you got your fucking like middle linebackers. There's a fucking difference between a kicker and a middle linebacker, right?
yeah, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't use that analogy.
No, no, we're not our athletic ability. I'm saying the wide range. And yet your fucking fat dudes fucking can't run.
Yeah, but like kickers are still expected to do like a really good job though.
Yeah.
Like can you really if you're like overweight in the Marine Corps, can you really still do your job? Like
Depends what your job is.
they argue no. They argue no.
Yeah, they argue no.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Only good
They
Marines can run
argue, yeah,
fast.
they argue, no. And it doesn't even matter if you're like overweight and you're like solid muscle. Like, no,
Oh,
you
no,
gotta
get
pass
taped.
tape. Yeah, get tape, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
um, and like I mean, sometimes I knew a dude who couldn't help it. Like he was just kind of like a bigger dude, and he would smoke a CFT and smoke a PFT like perfect scores, and like not have to worry about getting fucking weighed. And I was like, good for you, dude. Like
Yeah.
fucking nice.
Solid.
I mean, that's work the system as as it is. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
I think another thing in my perspective from the smoke pit
mm,
is you were with the line company. I was at the COC always. Like, I was always at the battalion headquarters. That's what the comm shop was pretty much on deployment.
yeah.
So our smoke pit was with all the officers and higher ups that were in the offices. So it was weird. Like the start of the deployment would be like, oh, like Ross or like fucking salute, fucking our
Yeah.
Ross staff sergeant or whatever who came out rank, fucking way higher than me. And towards like the fucking middle, like first couple months in the Marine Corps, like the higher ups that would start coming out, they start like relaxing more. They start
Hmm.
telling you stories more. And it was cool because I talked to like you had staff NCOs that were like pogues, and they would tell you like, oh dude, I fucking was stationed here and like we did this all the fucking time, went out with the boys and shit all the time. And that started like another assessment comes out, it's like, yeah, I did 2 tours in Iraq already. I was with like blah 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 company. It's like all walks of life, all
Yeah.
different type of people, all different type of MOSs come together in the smoke pit.
Yeah, yeah. There's actually it's funny because when you said that, it reminded me like one time I went to when we were at PTA, I went to the smoke pit. I was waiting on something, and the chaps that we had was out there at the time, and this is
Yeah.
like the first chaps that we had. I think they called them dirty chaps, and he was out there and this dude was fucking ripping a cig. He was ripping a cig like he was in a fucking fucking Black Noir movie, like just a fucking just a hip cool like just like such ease, somebody who's just has swagger when they smoke, like they're from like just from a different age, it seemed like. And we're sitting there and we're talking about he's giving like marriage advice or something like that, or he's talking about living situations, and he's like, yeah, I recommend that if you're a married couple, like that you don't have roommates, like you need your own space and blah 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 blah. And he's like yeah, and he's like he's hitting his fucking cigarette, and he's like when you got roommates, and you have struggles, and you're gonna have struggles. He's like, a shoulder to cry on. He's a dick to ride on. And I was like, chaps. I was like, that was, sir. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, but that's the wisdom. That's like the little drops of wisdom that you get, like the little tidbits and nuggets that you get, like being in the smoke pit. Like, somebody that comes in and just like you never thought you would be, speaking to them or whatever. It actually reminds me of this time. There's an officer that he was an air officer I used to fuck with all the time. And this isn't a smoke pit story. This is a shower story. And we were in ITX, so like we're in 29 Palms, the big ass training area and whatnot. And I don't know, I would just be belligerent with him, and he loved it. He would eat it up because he just fucking he just didn't give a fuck. Like he was just a great dude. And he fucking came into the showers, and I was in there with one of my buddies, and like he's an officer. So like I turned around and just like snapped at attention, like clicked my heels and everything. Like my dick even like slapped against my leg, like I'm like attention on that. Fucking oh man. And he was laughing so hard, but he was like, God damn it, boss. Like he turned the fuck around. But yeah, fucking great times. But like, yeah, anyways. But like you get to experience people from all walks of life and get to do shit like that. Like I mean I didn't meet that officer in the smoke pit, but just getting that nugget and that tidbit from the chaplain about just like life, and like living life and advice for being a young couple and like that's trying to navigate through life. And it's like the fact that I'm speaking about it like years and years later, is like that's the power of the smoke pit.
The smoke pit. The smoke pit. I think that's a solid name. I think it's a solid name, and I think it represents well. I think you hear the coolest shit in the smoke pit. You fucking roast your fucking boys in the smoke pit.
Yeah.
You fucking work shit out in the fucking smoke pit. You got a
Yeah.
problem with another Marine, you fucking go out to the fucking smoke pit. Yeah, that's probably where we spent a lot of my fucking Marine Corps careers in the fucking smoke pit, reminiscing with the boys.
Yeah, with the douche flute.
Yeah, fat clouds. Yeah, looking back, that's fucking that's funny. It's just funny. Changing over the course of when you first got the fleet to when you right before you got out to now looking back, like you said, you still remember that awful after all those years.
Mhm.
Something that sticks with you.
Yeah, it is very interesting that kind of looking at that, like I wouldn't even I would call it, I mean, I don't want to be cheesy and call it like an evolution, but like I mentioned earlier, like I was lucky enough to have a lot of like great leaders when I was in, a lot of fucking motivators who um didn't they just gave a fuck, they gave a fuck about you, which is important because the Marine Corps as a whole doesn't give a fuck about you. Like it really, let's be honest, like the Marine Corps does not give a fuck about you, and that's just the truth. And I'm not trying to be like negative or I'm not trying to be like critical in this context right now either. I'm just stating a reality. At the end of the day, that's why you're given a number. Um, so you're a number at the end of the day, and like it's important to have people in positions of power, especially immediate positions of power that help you forget that. I think that like, hey, like like your job matters, like, and it's so funny you brought up the NFL analogy because one of my fucking favorite officers ever, like Andrew Carlson, like represent. He's going to fucking Quantico now, I think, and then after that, he's going to get his fucking company command. Like that's gonna be super exciting. I'm super stoked for him. But like I was there when he was a fucking lieutenant. Like I'm saying, like he was a butter bar. Um, when I was like when I was a junior RO in the company, and we just really bonded. Like he was the second platoon commander. We just kind of just like really bonded and stuff. um and have building relationships with like men like him, and other officers, and especially NCOs, like, and staff NCOs, like that's, I think it's just fucking uh it makes all the world difference of your experience within the Marine Corps, and like those were the guys, like I'm like that, that I name drop, like those would be the guys that would show up. Like I said, they would be the ones
Yeah,
that show up at the smoke pit when one of their guys, like Carlson, I guarantee you, like you ask anyone in his platoon, like if one of his dudes was having like a going away or whatever, like, and they were doing it in the smoke pit at the bricks, like he would fucking show up, 100% show up, like, um and a lot of those guys would. And I think they understood like the power of like the smoke pit, like I think they respected the power of the smoke pit. They knew that. I think the energy of the night could very well, like, the smoke. I would say the smoke pit's kind of like a conduit. Like the smoke pit is the conduit for the barracks. Like you either leave your shit outside the bricks or you drag it into the smoke pit, and then when you drag it into the smoke pit, everyone gets involved.
yeah,
So it's like, think about it, like all the times like when you go out and get fucked up, like you come back to the bricks, what's one of the first places you check? You check the smoke pit to see who's out there. Like, who are you gonna shoot the shit with before going back to your room or whatever. Like that's just like a ritual almost. Like, um, so like if you're going through shit or bringing fucking drama or fucking the night's drama or dragging it into like the smoke pit, like that will definitely influence the overall vibe of the barracks. So like it's a conduit to a degree as well.
And I know you motherfuckers have some great pics from the smoke pit. Post your fucking picture in the
Oh
smoke
yeah.
pit or tell a fucking story about the smoke pit in the fucking comments. I'm gonna fucking comment a picture of fucking me in the smoke pit. So one of my favorite pictures of myself in the Marine Corps. I'm just fucking drunk off my fucking ass, bro. I can't even fucking sit up in this fucking remember the chair right outside in Oki? Um, right outside the comms barracks. It was a
Yeah.
red chair, red and
Hmm.
white. Dude, it's fucking massive. I'm fucking trashed laying back in this fucking chair, dude. I remember time I said, hey, take a picture of me, bro. And I was like,
Yeah.
post picture in the fucking comments, bro. Let's see
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Let's see your smoke pit
Fucking
stuff.
yeah. Smoke pit stories, smoke pit pictures, fucking all that shit. What a great time. What a great time to be alive back then. It's crazy to think about when I reflect like how much time I spent in the smoke pit without being a smoker myself. Like just to be there. Yeah, just to be around. Yeah, just to be
Yeah.
around what was going on, dude. Just to sit around and just fucking just shoot the shit with the dudes and fucking whatnot. It's crazy, bro. Like
I
that's
think
the
that's
shit. Like you
why
think about getting this nostalgia and whatnot.
oh yeah, like I was definitely a smoker. And it was more so like I would vape during the day and then at night when I drink, I smoke, I smoke, I drink. So I loved fucking we were in Japan out in the bars because you could fucking smoke in the bars.
Yeah.
So that's some good shit. It's like this the smoke pit travels. It fucking
Yeah.
travels.
Like a little fucking caravan, like a mummers fucking caravan. That's looking nice. Well shit, man. Do you have any last thoughts?
Yeah. Fucking hit up your fucking boys. Reach out to your boy that you
Mm-hmm.
had one of the best fucking stories with in the smoke pit and fucking hit him up and just fucking send that story towards him and see how he fucking acts. See how that much that brightens somebody's fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
Call a boy up, tell him a fucking memory, tell him what's up. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Or fucking this is something that I do. I have virtual smoke sessions with the homies. Like, it's like we can't sit next to I can't fucking pass the duchy to the left hand side, I can't do that physically, but what we can do is sit, catch up, take fucking, 20-30 minutes out of your day just to hit up a homie, sess with them, fucking, um, and reflect during that time. And you never know, like, conversations could last forever, which, is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I never talked to one of my homies and not feel good about it afterwards, obviously, like, I think I was actually reflecting one of my conversations with one of my closest friends, Drew. He, like just we called each other. We were playing like phone tag. Finally got a hold of each other and fucking. I think we might have said goodbye on the phone probably like 3 or 4 times, and like we still just kept talking. It's like one of those things like, uh, like the homies matter. You
Yeah.
matter. So reach out, touch somebody, fucking get after it. Um, well, here we are. You stuck with us all the way to the end. We thank you for listening. We want our listeners to know that if your pack becomes too heavy, don't drop it. The Veterans Crisis Hotline can be reached at 1-800-273-8255 or dialing 988. Or if you're on any veterans line with the VA, press 7. If you'd like to enjoy more content, don't forget to subscribe. Semper Fi and keep rolling on.
Yeah.
Hey!